Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, this article that I just read the title and first paragraph and I said, well, that's a good one to exemplify suicidal intentions. And not only suicidal intentions, but it seems like these guys are either not thinking ahead or they're thinking very well and they want to destroy this planet. All right, let's see what these guys are saying and then try to speak or ask the questions like I would ask a child and see what answer that person would give me. This article comes from Ukrinform and it's from today, the 21st of September 2022, and I'm reading the title. HIMARS ATACMS, ATACMS, Abrams, Leopards for Ukraine to be West's best response to Russian escalation, Podolyak said. So did you hear what this guy wants? So, Mikhailo Podolyak, the advisor to the head of Ukrainian president's office, believes that the best response to Russian escalation on the part of the West would be to supply HIMARS, ATACMS, Abrams and Leopards to Ukraine. Now, you tell me, what do you mean escalation? Do you mean the nuclear weapons escalation or the 300,000 weasels are going to show up? Which one is it? He said here that RU propagandists are not ashamed of their fantasies. If RF rebuilds its military, it will not stop on Ukraine. Only Ukrainian army decides whether these fantasies will come true or not by defending Europe. You just need to not be so much a narcissistic individual thinking or paranoid, thinking that you're the everybody want you and you're the defender of Europe all of a sudden. The best response of the West to Russia's escalation, HIMARS, ATACMS, Abrams, Leopards, wrote Podolyak. He also responded to Putin's nuclear threats, threatening with nuclear weapons to Ukrainians. Putin have not yet understood who he is dealing with. What is this guy? What are you going to do about? So, threatening with nuclear weapons to Ukrainians? Putin have not yet understood who he is dealing with. Maybe he's right, but not exactly what this guy means. So let's say Podolyak that that Russia uses nuclear weapons to Ukraine. You're gonna be dead. Do we agree with that? Can we agree with the fact that if Russia decides to unleash nuclear weapons on Ukraine, Ukraine will be destroyed totally? I think we can say 100% yes. So what is this guy talking about when he says threatening us? You don't know who you're dealing with. Threatening us with nuclear weapons, you don't know who you're dealing with. You have nothing to defend yourself from these things. All right. And the other one is the other questions I will ask the kid, Podolyak. The Russians escalated. Why did they escalate? And they said they will use if you guys are acting naughty or you attack our state or whatever, or you use nuclear weapons, and they're going to use nuclear weapons, the Russians. It's just a matter of time if things continue. And if you remember, the Russians told some Western countries that they crossed a red line if it's a red line that they cross if they send longer range missile systems and so on. That's ATACMS or whatever, ATACMS or whatever they are, and HIMARS that will shoot further, have a longer range. So then would mean if you will have those weapons, these guys will nuke you. And this guy asks for those weapons. Therefore, logically, these guys will nuke you. So would you ask for those weapons? If you don't ask, what are you going to do? You say, well, I can't just let the Russians kill me, right? Well, You said you have this counteroffensive that is successful through, how do you call them, military, regular fighting methods, no nuclear, conventional warfare. You're winning, you say, and all of a sudden you want something else. They said that if you get those something else, they might nuke you, and you have no defense against the nuclear weapons. Do you understand? And if they nuke you, and I don't think they should nuke you, because you're just a speaker, the box where people hear someone saying something. Not that person, not that object should be nuked, like Ukraine. You go with a cable, and you go back, and you find where the microphone is, and you're not going to blow up the microphone. You're going to blow up the person who's on the microphone, or the person who pays the person on the microphone. That one should be taken care of with, not nukes, because you don't need nukes for that. You need about 10 people, commando. That's how you have to do it over there, and these guys will get a hint, and if it's going to continue, you go with this one, and then you go to the rest. You don't start with Ukraine, and Ukraine is just a facade. They are the weasels that are used, unfortunately. Not the weasels, because it's not the Ukrainian nation's fault. It's the leadership. The leadership who in my not opinion, assessment, they just use the nation, and they are using them to extinction. And this guy calls for the one reason, one of a few, that will unleash nuclear weapons against them. Tell me what the logic is. Tell me. If those things come, these guys will probably not have patience for you anymore and bomb the shit out of you. Is that what you want? If you don't care for your nation, yes. And they don't care for the nation. I mean, 3 of them are Zelensky's. What do you want? They're going to be shipped somewhere before that happens. And even if that happens, those guys are disposable. There's no problem with that. But this guy? And if he doesn't fight with conventional weapons, you received so many from the Western countries, you're gonna, so far you deplete these guys or whatever they have. You're afraid these guys are gonna mobilize the whole army, he's gonna take over? I don't know, the whole thing started wrong 2014. That, not only 2014, with the expansion of NATO, with all that, started aggressive. It led towards this. It's a normal course of events. So, and on the other hand, what, you want the Russians to say, okay, yeah, kill our people over there in East Ukraine? Is that what you want? What? This should have been stopped before, but the weasel is in charge on the payroll of Zimbabwe across the Atlantic. They knew exactly what they were doing. And right now, I don't know what this guy is talking about. Podolyak. I think that this guy is a criminal. Why? Because he's like, I say, if you make one step that way, I will shoot you. And he said, guys, I'm gonna go that way one step. That's a guy who is gonna commit suicide, or being shot by me. That's committing suicide by his decision. Well, I'm gonna go there because I know he's gonna shoot me. What the hell? It's crazy. And unfortunately, if you try to speak, anyway. And I'm sorry for the Russians. I'm sorry for the Ukrainians. For the Ukrainians in the first place, and then for the Russians, for the nation, not for the weasels on top. Those guys are. I don't care if tomorrow, I know, the Mossad comes and gets them and puts them in the Red Sea and makes the sea redder than it is. I don't care, because those guys are selling a nation. That's what they do. And another one too. At the behest of interests. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.